During our week in Kentucky, we were able to serve in several different ways. The first of which was we were able to help serve at the church that we were staying at, Rock Fork Bible Church, and we just helped to do some service work on an old deck and ramp that needed to be fixed up, make sure they were stable and they would last a long time for the church. We also did some gardening stuff on the outside of the church to make sure it looked great. We also did some service work on a member of the church's family's house. We painted their ceiling for them. And then the other way we were able to serve through our week in Kentucky was we hosted a VBS for some kids in a government housing facility.
At the church we were staying at, Rockford Christian Church, we helped with work projects around the church. We specifically on removing the deck and to replace the supports and putting it all back.
I was on the ramp team. We were tasked with taking off the boards and replacing them, and also to strengthen the supports on the bottom.
On Monday, we weeded out the garden landscaping area and took out all the dead plants to prepare to mulch later on in the week.
Painted a older lady's ceiling named Vicky.
And painted her ceiling in the living room and a bedroom that had water damage. So we got to prime the ceiling and paint over it, and it looked so much better afterward.
We did VBS for kids at a government housing.
And we had different teams for the different stations.
We did dances. I added a little more pep into my step whenever we danced. Worship. We did crafts. We gave them snacks, some food, of course. We also did skits, which I was a part of.
And so we did like a 3 to 5 minute skit every time, and I would, with the assistance of Jace, me and Jace would go in depth and ask them questions about the skit afterwards, and get deeper into their salvation and what Jesus has for them.
On the game team, we were tasked with doing games that tied with the lesson.
Also, I worked at VBS and served snacks for the kids, and we also made dinner for them so they had something to eat at the end of the day.
And me and my team's job at that VBS was crafts. And what we did was we picked some crafts for the kids to do that went along with the lesson for that day and gave the kids something to take home to remind them of that lesson and to help them remember it.
How the kids started warming up to us during the VBS. The first day they were very set off, only focusing on 1 or 2 people. And then by the end they were answering our questions and going up to everybody, and it was really cool to see.
I would say that something that really stuck out to me from this trip is just the kids at VBS. They were so joyful and so eager to learn, and also I loved their accents so much. They were so cute.
I grew in my faith through the mission trip, through the daily devotional time. We had 45 minutes every morning that we devoted specifically to devotions.
I was able to grow through my time on the missions trip by doing devotionals.
I saw God showing me strengths that by myself I never would have seen, but through the encouragement of others, God showed me how valuable I am to Him and His kingdom.
I saw God at work in my experience on this trip, through working in my life by showing me that I have worth in my life, and by showing me that I need mentors in my life even when times are rough.
We overcame a lot. So the first thing that comes to mind was our last work day, because that was the day we had to get all the work projects done, every single one.
We just felt really down, and we still had that energy and connection through us, but we did not see the completion of the deck at the end of the day. We did not see that happening.
There were a lot of times where it was a stressful situation or a tough deadline to meet, but we all kept a good attitude and we worked together, and we were able to meet that deadline.
I truly believe it was work of the Holy Spirit to help us get all that decking done and finish this mission trip.
One of the highlights of the trip was definitely seeing the relationships and the interactions between all of the students. It was just amazing to see their support and their love for one another.
Thank you so much for this financial support, which helped us to physically be in Kentucky, but thank you most importantly for the prayers that helped us grow and thrive and serve while we were there.